folks, and welcome back to Concilium Watch. I'm Austin, and as promised, here is our first Army Builder briefing with the new Fireteam changes. Today we are going over Ariadne's newest sectorial, Kosmoflot. In this video, we are going to go over what I feel is Kosmoflot's general playstyle, the Fireteam options, and 3 lists to help you get started. So firstly, Kosmoflot is a punch-you-in-the-mouth army. It has lots of firepower and relatively tough units, especially compared to other Ariadne sectorials. These guys want to get to the midfield as quickly as possible and beat face. Their sweet spot is between the 0 and 24-inch range band. Now, before we go any further, we need to go back to the 5 things you typically need in a sectorial army list, and they are a core fire team for link team bonuses, midfield specialists to push buttons and complete objectives, hit pieces, units with high burst weapons for active turn shooting, defensive pieces, units with long range weapons to be put on ARO or to be order wasters, area denial pieces as well, and order monkeys, because the more orders you have, the more you can do. Now, with these lists, they are primarily made with new players in mind, but we highly encourage you to make your own list to fit your own playstyle and taste. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, we are in Army 7, and we're going to go over the Fireteam chart. First, we are in Kosmoflot. Fireteam chart. All right, Harris's Unlimited. Duo Unlimited, Harris's 1, and Core 1. So you've got the rocket fire teams. Now, if you're going over then looking at these charts, you've got to make a rocket fire team, you need a minimum of 1 actual rocket. Now, if you'll look directly under here, you'll see a mechanic with the rocket counts as a rocket. That's basically what it says, rocket here in parentheses. It counts as a rocket, but to be a rocket fire team, you have to have an actual rocket in there, not something that counts as an actual rocket. Now, we went over between pure fire teams and mixed fire teams in the last video. Pure fire team, you're going to get more things than just with a mixed fire team, which is something that that's not a rocket in this instance, or does not have the rocket in parentheses. War Driver, it's nice to see that the War Driver can actually form in a core fire team. I don't know how often you'll actually take it, but you got a hacker. And Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf. Cosmoflot fire teams, Duo, Harris, and Core. Scotsguard and Frontovix can form together. I think this is going to be best served in a Harris if you're going to mix them, because you're not really going to be missing out on a whole lot. Yeah, they don't get the Discover +3, but you didn't have that to begin with before the fire team changes, so it's not that big a deal. What you're going to want to think about, though, is while Frontovix have more specialists and a little bit of better weapons sometimes, it feels like, because they do have doctors, they do have engineers, while Scotsguard only have forward observers. They both have mimetism -3, which is really nice. But Scotsguard the FTO versions have stealth, while none of the Frontovix do. So that is just something to think about when you're going to move out with a Harris. Sometimes it's not a big deal. Sometimes it might be a big deal. But I think that it's really cool that they can form together to do a Harris or a Core. Other Cosmoflot fire teams, the Cosmosoldat can join a Harris. Thank you, Jesus. He needed to be put into a Harris, and we're going to go over that. But you have to have 1 Cosmosoldat. Chernobog, the new tag. Chernobog, the RM100 lives. Can duo. You have to have at least 1. And the Varangian Guard fire teams, 1 Varangian Guard, and Wallace counts as a Varangian here. You can duo, Harris, or Core with these guys. Now your wild cards. Vulcalax. Vulcalax count as rocket. New unit. Patchers. Patchers count as rockets. The Stranix. Stranix are great. We're going to go over those. The Unknown Ranger. He will not get any more pure fire team bonuses in Kosmoflot. Remember that. He used to be like almost an auto-include in Kosmoflot Cosmoflot before the Fireteam changes. He's still going to be really, really good, especially because he has MSV, he's got mimetism, he can do it all. The Unknown Ranger is still phenomenal. He's just not going to be as powerful in a core that he once was. But that's not a bad thing. And Caden First Strike Dawn is also a wild card. Now, let's get moving right along here with the list. Now, the first thing that you're going to need is a core fire team, and I think we should definitely look at the rockets. They really want you to play with the rockets, and I really like them, and it's a really good lieutenant option as well, just because it's Whip 13, they're easy to hide. Rockets are a great option for your lieutenant. I would usually go with a submachine gun just because it's cheaper and we always need order monkeys. So we're going to do the rocket lieutenant, and we need hit pieces. So we're going to go grab our Volkalac because the Volkalac counts as a rocket. So we're going to grab that heavy machine gun. That is going to be your hit piece for this core link team. But the Volkalac also has a missile launcher option. That's going to be a good defensive piece and long range for the Volkalac. And come on, armor 4 and total immunity, shooting at you from long range is a tough nut to crack. Really tough nut to crack. I'm going to bring the missile launcher as well. And then we're going to come back to our rockets. And we're going to grab the chain rifle, light shotgun. If you've got the point left over, we might can upgrade just to hide our LT a little bit better, but I'll always like to start at the lowest I can and then upgrade. And bring a paramedic, because I think you should always bring a paramedic if you have that available in your core link team in case something was to go down. All right, so now we need our midfield specialist. And best midfield specialist, in my opinion, in the game, best bang for your buck, Highlander SASs. Bring 2 FO versions because they can do absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Chain rifles like shotguns, flash pulse, D-charges, they can do it all. Anything that you need them to do, they can. You want them to be hit pieces, they can do that too. All right, now let's go play with that new Kosmosoldat Harris. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. We've been waiting on it for a long time. So we're going to start with the AP Heavy Machine Gun, +1 damage. So that's a damage 16 Heavy Machine Gun. And let's get him in a Harris, but let's do a kind of a super. We're going to make sure that the Kosmosoldat is protected because he is hackable. Now, Ariadne players, we're not used to things being hackable. We're really not. We want to get the most they can ever used to get before was targeted, unless you were going to play with the Blackjack or the Ratnik from TAC and USAREF. But we have a big guy here. He's only size 2 and hits like a truck and arm 6. So he's going to be a tough nut to crack. So let's keep him alive as soon as much is humanly possible. So Frontovix can join this Harris. So we're going to grab the Frontovic Engineer, and I'm going to grab that light rocket launcher just to get a shorter range band than the heavy machine gun, because the heavy machine gun is going to be able to reach out farther, but the light rocket launcher can get into that 16 to 24 inch range and still be on +3s, where the AP Heavy Machine Gun won't be able to. So it's covering all your ranges and can help your Kosmosoldat if he happens to get isolated or something like that, can fix him. But let's go get a doctor as well, and we're going to go grab the Stranic, which is one of our new units that we have. Stranic Outer Patrol in medium infantry. He's always a specialist operative in terrain 0G, but he's a doctor, and he's a wild card doctor. And I think that's fantastic, him being a doctor, and just he can join anything that he wants to. And I think he's really going to shine in a Harris, and especially this Harris, because he does have a submachine gun, so he's got those short range bands. He can flash pulse you, and he's got a light riot stopper, so you've got a template weapon as well. So he just perfect for what you want to do with this Harris. This Harris can now cover all but the very farthest range bands and be very, very effective. All right, but that's it for this pool. So we're at 5 SWC, 246 points, so we really need to start thinking about what do we want to do from here. I think that we should bring Usha McNeil, because why would you not bring Usha McNeil? Usha McNeil does all the things you want her to do. I'm going to bring Usha, and I'm going to bring the MSV level 1, and she's got smoke grenades, so she's just going to be a killer in this. We're not going to bring her specialist operative. The assault pistol +1 burst is really nice, but for this list, we're just going to bring the MSV 1. We need cheap orders, so we're going to get Varangians, and Cosmoflot gets a very special Varangian that nobody else gets, and that is the 9-point chain rifle of smoke grenades. So bring it. Absolutely bring it. I'm going to bring 2 of those, and that's going to leave us 10 points left over. Let's go back to our rockets. We've got 3 rockets right now, and availability for the rockets is 5. Let's go get that infiltration option. Let's go get that 10-point infiltration option. Just because, so the rocket infiltration, no, he doesn't have mimetism, so you'll obviously be able to tell. Your opponent will, having to ask. Be like, hey, is this camo token have mimetism? No, it doesn't. And he doesn't have surprise attack either. However, just being able to move up, and they've got to discover you, and you can still take your shots. On top of that, he's got D charges. So if you happen to draw that classified when you're playing the mission, he's got D charges as well, because the SASs also have D charges. So that's just another D charge guy to go in and do that objective. Or if you're playing looting and sabotaging, this also helps out a lot because D charges. But we're going to switch this up just a tad, and we're going to bring Usha up here in the top and one of the SASs here at the bottom, because Usha is very order hungry, and so if you want to give her as many orders as humanly possible. But this is our first list. This is a good all-comers list. Just bring it, and you can have a good time for almost any mission that you want to play. And that's what generally these lists are going to be, but it's just different ways to play those. Moving on, let's scrap this. Army's been weird here lately, so you got to start from the beginning, so I apologize. Going back into Cosmoflot. And let's make a little bit of a different list here, and let's bring our boy Wallace as our LT. And let's make use of some irregular orders, turning them regular. All right, so Wallace Lieutenant. We're going to start there. And let's bring that Unknown Ranger. Let's bring an old classic. This is a way that you used to be able to play. Where's Unknown? There he is, the Unknown Ranger. AP Spitfire, always. Let's bring that Volkalak because he is a wild card. We're going to bring that Missile Launcher. That'll be our defensive piece, help us get out of the deployment zone area. And bring 2 Varangians. And we're going to both bring the 9-point Varangians. All right, now, so the difference between this core and last core is this is a mixed core because of the Volkalak and the Unknown Ranger. Where the last core from the last list I showed you was a pure core because everything counted as a rocket. So it's going to get everything, as mentioned from the Fireteam's chart. So it's going to get the +3 to discover. It's going to get the +3 to the ballistic skill. They're all going to get 6th sense. These guys they're not going to get the discover +3, and their BS is only going to go up by 1. So now that we got that out of the way, this is a really good core because you'll be able to smoke trick with Unknown Ranger, because Unknown Ranger does have MSV1, and the Varangians and Wallace both have smoke grenades, so if you're throwing out with Wallace or the Varangians, you're throwing out smoke on 17s in good range and 2 smoke grenades at that for the Unknown Ranger to shoot through. Obviously, you don't want to shoot this against other MSV units. You want to shoot, and definitely not core link teams because they'll have 6th sense. But other soft targets that are getting in your way, absolutely. use this to your advantage, and smoke actually will help you get to the midfield easier once the MSV unit has gone down, and that's what the Volkolak is going to be there for, is to take out the MSV sniper that your opponent most likely will have, so the Unknown Ranger can then go in and shoot everything with its burst. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a fun list, I think. This is a list that I'm going to call my mullet list, because we're bringing the bear. We're going to bring the Polaris team with a controller so we can have a regular bear. And it's 2 orders, so why not? But we're also going to bring Mirage 5. Bear in the front, Duroc in the back. It's going to be a great time. So we got 5 orders here. Polaris team is 2, and Mirage 5 is 2 with Lieutenant Margot and Sergeant Duroc. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the first pool. And let's go ahead and grab that War Core, because we know we're going to need it. Always bring the 360 visor, never the 6th sense, always 360. Alright, so that's the end of pool 1. Now remember, it's going to say, you got here that they are irregular. The only irregular order that you actually have here, because Wallace exists, is the Unknown Ranger's Tactical Awareness order. So all of this is regular. That means Duroc is regular, which is really, really nice. Alright, so we need a new group. We need our midfield specialist. Always bring your 2 SAS FOs. And let's see, we got 4.5 SWC. Don't worry about filling out SWC new players. Ariadna is very, very good at bringing a very high-powered list and not bringing SWC, just because stuff like bear pods and dog faces exist, and almost none of them are SWC. The only Duroc in this particular situation, it costs SWC. That's because you can drop him into your opponent's deployment zone, which is really scary for your opponent and really fun for you. And we got 17 points left over, so let's grab our Armandinos. Let's get another couple smoke throwers. If you've been with me long enough, you know that all of these Armandino options don't exist. Only the 8-point exists. Boarding shotgun, submachine gun, never bring those. Always bring 8 points. That's going to put you at 299. Now, be advised, you are never going to be able to really hide Mirage 5. You're going to put all your stuff on the board. You're going to have a reserve. Most likely is going to be the Polaris team or an SAS that you might fool somebody if you happen to be going second as Usha. But you can't. Mirage 5 is so expensive that you're not going to be able to hide them. So your opponent is going to immediately know that they have to watch out for Margot and Duroc, just because that's 2 orders. It's not going to be in your pool once, because that is open information. So it's going to show up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 regular orders. But like, why do you have 8 and 4 orders? Or 8 and 2, because the SASs are not going to show up. What are you actually hiding? It's actually Margot and Duroc, because they are so expensive at 66 points. Let it happen. Like, they know it's coming, but can they stop it? That's the big thing. Especially when people are setting up, they're like, oh, I forgot about Duroc and Mirage 5. It's really fun. It's really fun. Definitely give this list a try. I've played with it. I've played with a very similar list on one of our very first battle reports. Check it out. Duroc does amazing. And the last list that we are going to go over today is we got to test out our new tag. We definitely got to test out our new tag. So we're going to start out. We need our link team. We're going to go back to the rocket link team. So let's grab our rocket lieutenant. Let's grab our 2 Volkolaks, heavy machine gun, and our missile launcher. And let's go grab a Patcher, because the Patchers is another new unit that are really, really cool. And the heavy flamethrower +1 burst and the adhesive launcher +1 burst. So your heavy flamethrowers, that's 3 heavy flamethrowers. That's disgusting. And 3 adhesive launchers. That's also disgusting. And Patchers counts as rockets. So this is going to be a pure fire team. And we're going to go back to our rockets and just grab the paramedic. So this is a pure fire team. So it's going to get the +3 to the ballistic skill. And the Discover +3. So we do need, and we've got our attack piece with the heavy machine gun, and we've got our Volkalac missile launcher as a defensive piece. But once he gets out of the defensive zone, missile launchers have very long range bands, but he's still got Chain Colt +1 burst, so that's 3 Chain Colts shots, so good for up close. And he's still got grenades, so you're doing fine. He's gonna be useful regardless. We need our SAS, SASFO, never leave home without 2. They are fantastic, always bring 2. And let's go grab our Bearpode, because we need our Bearpode Polaris team. I always like to bring the Polaris team just because it's 2 orders and the bear can get cover. And that's 8 armor in cover because they're already 5 armor. And that's pretty awesome. And let's get our tag. We need our tag. The Chernobog Armored Detachment. Look at this beautiful baby. Oh my god, I can't wait to put him on the table and see the render, all the things. We are going to be bringing the 72-point version. AP heavy machine gun, heavy rocket launcher +1 burst, so 3 heavy rocket launcher shots on active turn, and chest mines. And that's your 10 orders for the first pull, and you're at 271 points, so we don't have a lot left. But we are going to need an engineer for the Chernobog. Yes, the Chernobog can't really, once he goes into battle ravage state, he's never going to come back up from battle ravage state. He'll always just stay there. But that's still a really good battle ravage state. He's still got the tactical awareness. He's still got courage. He's dodging on a 9. That doesn't change. The Gizmo Kid on a 9, that's a little bit, that doesn't change. It's just a little rough for the Gizmo Kit. But we are low tech, and that's what we've always been known for. So you'll get over it. You got to tag it all. Be happy. And we're going to need an engineer. Now, what I like is the Ermin Dino. I'm going to grab an Ermin Dino. And what's funny is I'm going to grab, because they are engineers, we're going to put an electronic with him. The electronic is our new little peripheral helper bot. Probably going to look like the little Wally bot. I'm really excited to use him. And he's only 2 points. Now, the reason he's only 2 points is because, unlike the other peripherals, he's only 4/4 compared to, I believe, 6/4. So we're going to add the electronic to the Ermin Dino. So the electronic will never gain cover, guys, because he's going to be impetuous. The electronic's going to have the exact same training as the Ermin Dino. The difference is, because Ermin Dino is impetuous and he gets the irregular order, the electronic will move both times, or can move both times that the Ermin Dino does. But the only trade-off is this is a really cheap engineer at only 10 points with the electronic attached to him. And because the Ermin Dino can throw smoke for his electronic if he absolutely needs to, if they're close enough to each other. But I think it's a really good trade-off, just because even if he doesn't have not able to gain cover, that's a really cheap engineer to go out and fix your Chernobog, or you don't have to bring it at all. But in this list, I'm going to bring the engineer, because usually you'll want to bring an engineer every time you bring a tag. All right, so we're at 281. So let's go grab our smoke throwers. Grab our Varangian Guard. We're going to grab 2 9-pointers. and that'll put you at $299. So the Ermendino is going to have basically four orders. Yeah, you can forego the Impetuous order from the Varangian. They can just throw smoke. That's really all they're there to do, is to throw smoke, be order monkeys, potentially, and to be deployment zone guards. The core is going to want to move up. As I said before, SASs are there to push buttons. Polaris team is there to punch you in the face, because that's what Polaris team does. And Chernobog does everything. But these are the three lists. So now that we've seen the three lists, now you kind of need to know, guys, what you absolutely need to buy after the list. Definitely invest in Vulcalax. There's only one Vulcalax sculpt out right now. Definitely go grab it up. I'm sure more Vulcalax are going to come out eventually. Both Varangians, there are two Varangians out right now, and I believe they've not discontinued the 45th Highlander Galwegians box yet. So you can grab those as well if you need more Varangians. Those are very good proxies. Grab an Ermendino. We don't have the Chernobog yet, but grab a tag if you really need to. Always grab the Polaris team. You are going to need them. SASs, there's a new SAS sculpt out now. Definitely grab those up. There's a new Wallace out. Grab Wallace up. But these are the typical things that you're going to need to buy. Check out all of these lists and see how you like them. I think you're going to enjoy playing with Cosmoflot if you want to get upfield as quickly as possible and win with high-powered slugs. This is exactly what this army is good for. And all of these lists that I've just went over, all of their army codes will be down in the description, so you can check them out and play around with them from there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll put another one out next Friday. See you next time.